guys? My name is Tucker. Welcome back to AutoScribe, and today I'm going to talk about which truck is better. Well, for this year models that I've owned personally. I had a 2002 Ford F-150 F x4 truck, it's a four-wheel drive truck, and I also had a 2003 Chevrolet Silverado Z71. So basically they're both kind of similar year models. I didn't change anything for the years before or after, so I'd say they're in the same ballpark, but I have owned both, and there are things I liked about one over the other, and there's similarities they had that I really liked. But you can get both of these trucks for under 10 grand. I paid about $6,000 for both. I think I paid $6,500 for the Chevrolet, just because, you know, the Chevy brand holds its value a little better than the Ford brand. From what I've seen truck-wise they do. Chevrolet holds their car value just a little bit more, I think, but it's not too significant. But anyway, guys, first I'm going to start with the similarities between the F-150 and the Silverado 1500. Both well, one's a Z71, one's a F x4, both basically the same off-road package. It's just the off-road package for each brand. Now let's start with the Ford. In my opinion, the Ford exterior for the O2s, up until about 2004, I think is when they changed it, that was one of my favorite body styles of that truck. It was more round. I know it looked kind of funny if you got a two-wheel drive model, but the F x4 version, I really loved it. Another thing too is the 5.4 liter Triton V8 engine. A lot of people had problems with this engine. I personally had problems with this engine. It broke down a lot, but I've also seen people that had the same truck that have had no problems with that engine. So it may just be on a truck by truck basis, but I do see more consistency with the Chevy 5.3 Vortec engine than I do with the 5.4 Triton. Just my personal experience. Also, the Chevrolet gets better gas mileage. I know my Silverado, I have to take into account both of these were lifted. I had about a 3-inch lift on the, about a 2.5-inch leveling kit on the Ford, and a 3-inch body lift on the Silverado. Eventually I changed it to a suspension lift, so let's just say it was a 3.5-inch suspension leveling kit on the Silverado and a 2.5-inch on the Ford. And the Chevy still got better gas mileage. It ran better in my opinion, but the Ford could haul more, so you have to take that into perspective. Now, I had the Ford truck. It was in my family since 2002. It was bought brand new. My grandfather bought it off the lot. He bought it at the end of 2001, so it was throughout the family. I regret selling it. It's one of my regrets. I regret selling both of the trucks. I loved both of the trucks, but the Ford, all the miles and all the maintenance we did because we bought it brand new in the family. And my grandfather didn't use it for anything except for driving it to the coffee house and the baseball field every day. So just highway miles for him. And I didn't take it off-roading much. I may have taken it on the hunting club once or twice, but nothing serious. Now the Chevrolet, I did take it off-roading a good bit. And as far as off-road goes, I do have to say the Ford suspension, they both had rough country suspension lifts on them. Except for the Ford, I know it had Rancho shocks, and I think the Chevrolet, I went ahead and put the rough country shocks on them and rough country control arms. So, but the Ford suspension stock, I'm just going to go stock because I did change them both from stock. The stock Ford suspension to me was better. Had more play, it was softer. You didn't feel bumps as bad when you went over the road. In the Silverado suspension, it was a little stiff. It was a stiff suspension. Now the Ford truck, when I sold it, had 150,000 miles, and the Silverado had 190,000 miles. And as far as motors and transmission goes, the Silverado definitely outlasted the Ford. My motor in the Ford blew up at about 120,000 miles, and I had to get it fixed. I spent crap tons of money fixing that thing. And the Silverado, I only had to replace the fuel pump and the starter. I replaced the starter twice, but that was my fault. I bought the wrong starter the first time. So for 30,000 more miles, the Silverado had much cheaper repairs. Other than the transfer case, I did have to replace that, but that one's iffy. That one goes by experience. It depends on how rough you are on the four-wheel drive. And I hauled tractors a lot, and the mechanics, that's probably what blew my transfer case. I have no idea. But again, as far as power, in my personal experience, the F-150 had more power than the Silverado. I could haul heavier things easier. Like, we had a full-size farm tractor. It was a Kubota, and I hauled it with both trucks. And the Ford definitely pulled it. It felt more natural with the Ford. It didn't feel like I was straining as hard to get down the highway. It just felt it felt good to pull the trailer with the Ford. And the Chevrolet, it pulled it fine. There was no problems with it. It just felt like it had to work a little bit more, which I thought was odd because of how close the engines were. I mean, you had a 5.4 liter and you had a 5.3 liter. That's really not that much of a difference. Then I had to look at Chevrolet. It got 10 miles to the gallon better than the Ford. My Ford only got like 8 miles to the gallon on a good day. Now, it didn't start like that, but it ended like that, which sucked. But anyway, let's talk about, because I know with a lot of trucks around here, modifications are a big deal. In all honesty, Chevrolet gets expensive to make a Chevy look good. Because if mine was a cat-eye Chevrolet and had the lift kit, excuse me, it had the 20-inch Moto metal rims, Toyo open country all-terrain tires, an epic exhaust. I mean, that thing sounded like a freaking freight train coming down the road. And all of that put together probably cost about $5,000-ish to get everything I wanted to done to it. And the Ford, it had the 2.5-inch lift kit. Now, I didn't change the rims because I really love the F x4 rims. I just loved them. So I had to do that. But I did have a brush guard on it, a ranch end brush guard. I had tow and mirrors. I had halo LED headlights, tail lights. I had a 15-inch sub in the back seat, a Pioneer touchscreen radio, Bridgestone Dealer all-terrain tires. I know a lot of people put mud terrains, but I just like all-terrains. They seem more practical. They still look good, but they're just not as bulky, I guess. I mean, I love the way mud tires look. It's just for what I did, I didn't need them. And the Ford was probably about $2,200 for all of that, I think it was. So Ford a little cheaper to modify. Chevrolet. But if you look at the resale value, I sold the Ford for $4,500, and that was as much as I could get out of the thing. And the Chevy I sold for $7,000, which was more than I paid for it. So the resale value on the Chevrolet is, you can see that if you just look on Craigslist. The resale value of a Silverado or a Sierra is much higher than that of a F-150, just because people, they know the name. When people think South, they think Chevrolet Silverado. But okay, enough of the modifications. Let's go back to something stock tires. My Ford came with stock Goodyear Wrangler ATSs on it. All something season. I think it's all terrain season tires. And they were great tires. I mean, they lasted for a while and they looked good. And the Chevrolet came with street tires. And to me, on a Z71 truck, I mean, you put off-road on the back of it, but you put street tires, and it's so loaded. Like my Ford was set 2 inches higher stock than the Z71 did. And to me, that's just like, I feel like Ford got it more for the 4x4 enthusiast. Which, granted, I loved off-roading, not really mud riding per se, because I thought that tore up the truck, but just riding on the hunting club or just going through the mountains, something like that. I did that a lot in both of them. Not much when they were stock, but afterwards. And the Chevy was so low to the ground, it was almost at car level when I got it stock. And the Ford was already a couple inches off the ground. That's why I didn't lift it up the Ford as high as I did the Chevrolet. If, you know, because I said I had a 2.5-inch leveling kit on the Ford and a 3.5 on the Chevy, because I had to lift the Chevy higher to just get the same height as the Ford. So as far as stock goes, that is. And the stock exhaust system, let's see. My Ford was straight piped when I got it from the Ford dealership. Now, it wasn't a serious exhaust system. It was a Flowmaster, which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, we did get the truck with 2 miles on it. The truck had 2 miles on it when he bought it. So it just came from Ford with a Flowmaster straight pipe exhaust. And it wasn't loud, but it did have a little roar to it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And the Chevrolet exhaust, you can't even hear it. From a pipe about that big around. Now, I don't know why Chevrolets, you see them going down the road and they just seem, the aftermarket exhaust seems to sound better on the trucks than on the Ford, but then again, not as many people with a Ford as I've seen customize their exhaust. From what I have seen, people buy Ford to work, people buy Chevy to play. That's my opinion on it. If you want to work, you buy a Ford. If you want to play, you buy a Chevy or a GMC. Now, I know I mean, I've been in the rivalry before, especially in high school. I mean, I drove that Ford all the way from 16 until I graduated. And a little after I graduated. And all my buddies were driving Z71s, and I was the only person there with a truck that was not a Chevy. So we got all in the pissing contests and everything. It was a good time. But then I bought the Chevy, and people were all criticizing me like, you're a hypocrite. I'm just like, man, it's just a truck. I've owned 13 vehicles at this point. I just like to drive. And right now I don't own a single vehicle, which kind of sucks, but I did that to myself. But I mean, I just like driving. Like, I'll do a video on my top 2 SUVs, but these are my top 2 trucks, the F-150 and the Silverado. And I don't want to ramble on too long, but for under 10 grand, they're both great trucks. And the way I see it, if, you know, parents are watching this trying to pick a first truck for their kid, or if the kids are watching this trying to figure out what they want to tell their parents, is if you want to use your truck for summer jobs, like pulling a lawnmower to cut grass, pulling a tractor to plow fields, pulling a four-wheeler to, you know, go out in the woods, and I don't know what you would do with a four-wheeler for work. I mean, I pulled a trailer with mine, which was kind of weird. But you can also tie winches to it. I think Ford is your better choice for working purposes. Because, you know, Ford may only get... my Ford got worse gas mileage than the Chevy did, pulling nothing. But when it pulled something, the Ford got better gas mileage than the Chevy did. Because I could pull a tractor at 2,000 RPMs versus the Chevy, which I had to pull a tractor at 6,000 RPMs, if you know what I'm saying. So for work purposes, I'd pick F-150 all day long. It's my winner. But for style, like if you're just going to use your truck to look good and take it through the mud and tear it up, because I think mud riding does tear up your truck, I enjoy it. Don't mistake me saying it'll tear your truck up for me not enjoying mud riding. I love to do it. It's just, I never did it in my truck. I always took my buddy's truck. But if you want it to look good, you want it to sound good, you want people to stop and look at, stare at it, you're going to want to go with the Silverado. It's more well known, it's easier to modify, it's more expensive to modify, but so many people do it that there's more parts for it. And I mean, it's a damn good looking truck, a cat-eye Chevy, a crew cab Z71. Beautiful truck. And you can get them both, well, not in Alabama, you can't get them both for under 10 grand. Now you can get the Ford for under 10 grand, you can get one with a Chevy with 200,000 miles for under 10 grand, but they've become so popular that anything with Z71 on the back of it's going to cost you a pretty penny. But you can get them in other states. I know I've seen a few in Georgia for 6,000, 7,000, with about 100,000 miles on them. But anyway, guys, that is my take on the Ford Chevrolet rivalry, and that's just how I would pick, you know, which truck to buy. Working Ford, playing Chevy. And you know what? They're both great trucks. You can get either one to do one or the other. You might can make your Ford look better than your buddy Chevy. It creates friendships. Cars create friendships, and that's what's important. But anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.